Remember during Trump's first term, he promised he would surround himself with the best people? Well, now for his second term, he seems to have reversed course on that policy as well. And now Trump is just surrounding himself with the absolute worst people. And that includes the Attorney General Pam Bondi. She is an absolute nightmare, but now MSNBC has just dropped a brutal bombshell on Pam Bondi, and it leaves plenty of room for her to be extremely worried. How's it going? My name is Hunter Avalone with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, as Trump and his little squad continue to just be the worst, people continue to grow sick of Donald Trump and his little squad. And now more and more people are rising up and calling for Donald Trump to be impeached, especially after his blatant assault on the Constitution and his oath as president.
He needs to be impeached. I will not live like this. My dad is retired full-bird Army colonel. My parents are healthcare. I have a son with autism. I have kids that attend Title I school. Do you think that there's nothing can be done? No. Do something more. I like you, and I will vote for you if you are brave and you do what we need. We need him impeached. We need him removed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So Trump continues to make enemies with pretty much everybody, and now the calls for him to be impeached again are growing even louder. And for good reason. Recently, a very disturbing ICE memo was leaked, revealing some shocking details. The Trump administration directed law enforcement nationwide to pursue suspected gang members into their homes, in some cases without any sort of warrant. The directive, issued by Attorney General Pam Bondi on March 14th, provides the first public view of the specific implementation of the 1798 Alien Enemies Act.
In a groundbreaking exclusive report, USA Today has uncovered a secret DOJ memo that lays out a blueprint for mass deportations under Trump's latest immigration crackdown, and legal experts warn it's a direct assault on the Constitution. The memo authorizes officers to storm homes without judicial warrants based only on reasonable belief of gang affiliation, bypassing the Fourth Amendment's protections against unlawful search and seizure. It also declares that suspected migrants are not entitled to hearings, appeals, or any judicial review. A move attorneys call deeply dangerous and unprecedented.
This is absolutely disgraceful, shocking, and it should have everybody concerned. Once again, we see the so-called patriots not even caring slightly about the Constitution. Does the Fourth Amendment mean nothing to anyone anymore? You realize that what this memo says is essentially that if police just think that maybe there's an illegal immigrant in your house, they can just enter your house. I find it really ironic, actually, that this Attorney General's name is Pam Bondi. Bondi sounds so much like Bundy, and it really does make sense, because Pam Bondi is absolutely murdering the Constitution. Now, we've been covering Pam Bondi and the Trump administration arresting the Wisconsin judge for allegedly hiding an illegal immigrant, but now MSNBC has dropped a brutal bombshell directly on Pam Bondi, and it should have Trump and his entire administration completely panicked.
But joining us now at the table are former U.S. Attorney and co-host of Sisters-in-Law podcast and MSNBC legal analyst Joyce Vance and MSNBC legal correspondent and host of MSNBC's Can They Do That, Lisa Rubin. Okay.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia, or some of the people who have been sent to El Salvador where they are languishing in a notorious prison, and instead we're talking about the judge who allowed a man who has already been deported once and is now being accused of domestic violence crimes. That's who we're talking about now, the judge who allegedly opened the door and let the guy who's been accused of domestic battery escape. They know that this allows them to flip the narrative in a way that they feel is advantageous for them, and that's why they're talking about it on TV in a way that the Department of Justice doesn't usually talk about their cases, that other agencies don't talk about cases. Why? Because it's prejudicial to a defendant or an immigrant to have the full force of the government on television staring down the camera and saying this person obstructed justice. To have an attorney general say that about a sitting judge is a complete reversal of how we are used to federal law enforcement operating in this country.
It goes beyond that. Can we play the sound of Pam Bondi on Fox News?
They're deranged is all I can think of. I cannot believe, I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law, and they are not. And we're sending a very strong message today. If you are harboring a fugitive, we don't care who you are. If you are helping hide one, if you are giving a TDA member guns, anyone who is illegally in this country, we will come after you and we will prosecute you.
Judge Dugan asked if Deportation Officer A had a judicial warrant, and a Deportation Officer A responded, "No, I have an administrative warrant." Judge Dugan stated that the Deportation Officer A needed a judicial warrant.
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole mess that we're talking about, right? This clip that we see of Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, posted on Twitter, this is all in violation of very clear DOJ policy. You're not permitted in a case of an indictment or a complaint to go to the press and talk about anything that's not in the four corners of the document because it prejudices the defendant's rights. We will probably see a motion to dismiss this case outright. If this was a normal Justice Department, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, anybody else who was talking about this case on national TV would be referred to the Office of Professional Responsibility for disciplinary action. This is not a functional Justice Department, so the dirty laundry will come out in the wash in these proceedings, where the facts just don't add up, right? Was he in a public space? Wasn't he? They didn't have a judicial warrant. That matters because it means there wasn't a finding of probable cause made by a judicial officer to authorize the arrest of this gentleman who was in the judge's courtroom.
So Pam Bondi continues to butcher the entire country. She might be the coldest attorney general we've ever actually seen. It's like the woman doesn't even have a soul. But just like so many involved in the Trump administration, Pam Bondi might be on borrowed time.